Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for Fantasy Premier League content for the 2020-21 season. My name is Dan and today we're doing a Game Week 37 team selection and transfers video on a Monday, which is kind of strange. The deadline is of course on Tuesday, it's tomorrow, so the schedule is mixed around a little bit. We did buy, sell, keep, avoid yesterday, we're doing the team selection today, and yeah, plenty to talk about with my own team, but these deadlines are coming thick and fast at the moment, and the season is so close to being over. So it's a really exciting time for FPL. We're about to find out where we're all going to finish. We're about to find out where I'm going to finish, pretty much, which hopefully is going to be okay, but that remains to be seen. That remains to be seen, doesn't it? But yeah, if you do enjoy this video, please do make sure you like it. It really helps out the channel, and of course, subscribe if you're new around here as well. But before we have a look at my scores from Game Week 36, and I'm not looking forward to sharing these scores, but you know, we've got to do it. We've got to do it. A quick word from our sponsor today, which is of course OneFootball. Now, for those of you who don't know what OneFootball is, it's a great app/website for all things football. I personally like to use the app on my mobile to check out the scores, check out the lineups, check out the stats as well. It's got all of it all in one place. I think it's going to be a really useful app for you guys to have when the Euros are on, because obviously you're probably not going to want to watch every single game at the Euros. Now, I'm going to try and watch every game, but there are going to be games I'm not going to be watching, and for those instances, you want an app you can easily go and check out, see what's going on around the Euros, especially when you're playing Euro Fantasy as well, which I will be playing. Don't you worry about that, guys. So do check it out, guys. Completely free, and it helps support the channel as well. The link is in the description, or you can check out the pinned comment as well. So let's have a look at these Game Week 36 scores. Not ideal. Okay, obviously you guys know that I took a -12 last week. We bought in Edison, we bought in Dallas, we bought in Mahrez, we bought in Wood. Out of those 4 players, 2 of them didn't even get on the pitch. One of them blanked, and Dallas, obviously, he's got his clean sheet. So at least a return from Dallas, but overall, you know, that's a -4, really, I guess, because I gained 8 points, but I lost 4 points from my players not playing, really. So a little bit of a nightmare, a little bit of a disaster. But as I said last week, this season, because of the way I started the season, it was always a bit of a write-off. I'm never going to get exactly where I want to be. Obviously, I would want to be around the top 20k, top 10k mark. That's obviously no chance of happening. But if I want to get a respectable finish, if I want to win my mini-leagues, I can't do that by doing just, you know, the typical sensible transfers. I do have to think outside the box a little bit. And that's kind of what I was trying to do with Edison and Mahrez and Chris Wood as well. So I did want to do a little bit of that, and it's why I've not gone for players like, you know, your Kanes and your Sons and your Bamfords, who, by the way, I guess Bamford and Son didn't return anyway, so I guess that's not a huge worry, but obviously not having Kane has affected me a little bit this game week. But overall, look, it wasn't an ideal game week, but I'm now developing a really nice, strong squad to go into the last few game weeks. And the last 2 game weeks, they are going to be tough. It is going to be very, very difficult because there will be a lot of rotation. This last game week 36, I'm sure a lot of you guys will agree, it was a very tough game week. Obviously, we got hit with the Pep rotation. Who expected Scott Carson to play in goal? Nobody expected that. That was a real weird one, wasn't it? Mahrez, we kind of expected him to play. He's not played in a little while now. He's gone sort of like 10, 11 days now without any play time whatsoever. So you would think that he gets on the pitch soon. The captain on Salah worked. We were pretty happy with that. Trent Alexander-Arnold got his assist. Dallas got his clean sheet. But aside from that, maybe Kane got some returns, but there wasn't too many obvious players that actually got returns this game week. So maybe if you were lucky enough to have Cancelo or someone like that, then you got a few points there. Maybe if you're lucky enough to have Alisson in goal, you got your goalkeeper playing and scoring a goal, which would have been really nice. But overall, it was a tough game week for everyone. For me, it was a very tough game week. A lot to do with the fact that I took a -12, but I have to remember that the -12 was not just for one game week. It was to set me up for the rest of the season. So I can't judge it just based on this one game week. I'm not going to be negative. I'm going to be positive and think, hey, okay, fair enough. Edison didn't start. Fine, maybe he starts the next 2 games and he gets clean sheet in both of them, in which case, suddenly it's worth it. Mahrez, okay, he didn't start. But if he starts again next game week, then suddenly we've got this player who can easily score a hat-trick, easily could get a goal and 2 assists or something like that and get a really, really nice score. So over the course of the several game weeks, it might actually really pay off. And there's still a very good chance that these transfers will more than pay off over the course of the season. So I'm not too worried. I'm not going to be too negative. Obviously, we'll drop down rank quite significantly, but it's nothing that cannot be recouped with another couple of good game weeks with a squad which, quite frankly, I am actually genuinely really happy with. It's a strong squad for the rest of the season, but we are going to be making some more transfers. But let's have a look at how I'm going to be lining up for Game Week 37, and then we'll do my transfers for this game week as well, and I think it could be kind of interesting. So let's start off in goal with Edison against Brighton and Hove Albion away as a defender, or defensive player, I guess. That's a really good fixture. This is a fixture which, you know, you can very easily get a clean sheet against Brighton, especially if you're a team like Man City. Now, Pep Guardiola today has come out and said that Edison will be playing the remaining 2 games this season. So that is absolute salvation. I was a little bit worried of, oh my God, I brought in Edison. Is he actually going to be playing for this last 2 games? Is he going to be rotated again? Is Carson going to play again? Is Stefan going to come out in and play one fixture in goal? Thankfully, Pep has said Edison starts the final 2 game week, so I don't have to worry about that. That is a load off my mind, let me tell you that. So we've got a really good goalkeeper with 2 nice fixtures against Brighton this game week, Everton the final game week. Everton not exactly a particularly attacking team right now either, so the potential of 2 clean sheets is very much still on. So I'm happy about that indeed. So good to have Edison. Finally, we can have some relaxation about that. Moving on into defence, we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who just seems to be the most essential defender. So again, we're very happy with that. We've got this fixture against Burnley. Burnley couldn't even score last game week, but I do expect Burnley to score against Liverpool just because Liverpool's defensively are raising a few eyebrows. There's a few questions to be asked about Liverpool defensively. It's the attacking returns that we really are looking for with Liverpool, and with Trent Alexander-Arnold, there's no better defender right now to get you those attacking returns. So obviously there's a possibility of the clean sheet, but what we're really looking for with Trent is those corners, those free kicks, those crosses into the box. You know, he likes to take a shot as well. In last game against West Brom, he cut inside on his left foot a couple of times and tried to take a couple of shots. Obviously they didn't go in, but on another day, you never know, these things can go in. He has scored goals, many goals in his career, in his very short career. So this could definitely happen. We're looking for attacking returns with Trent, and I think they could easily come in this game. Moving on to Digne. Obviously, he's not doing amazingly, but you can see he's still trying to cross the ball. He's trying to create chances constantly, particularly for Calvert-Lewin crossing the ball in. If Sigurdsson is not on the pitch, then Digne is on all set pieces as well, which is really, really nice. Really something we like to see. And Wolves not really offering much in attack. They haven't really got much attack going on right now. They're happy to rotate at the moment, Wolves. It does seem like they're kind of done for the season now. They know that they're not going to move up in the table, not going to move down in the table. They don't need to worry about European places. They don't need to worry about relegation. Wolves is just kind of a really kind fixture right now, and the fact that Spurs could go out and beat them 2-0, you know, Burnley beat them 4-0 a couple of weeks ago, so there is goals in this game. Like I have been saying about Everton, though, is they're not a particularly attacking team at the moment. I do think if they get their first goal, they're pretty much happy to sit at a 1-0. So the clean sheets are very possible for Everton. I don't think they're a bad defensive team. They are a little bit of an unreliable team, I guess. We kind of saw that against Sheffield United. They as soon as they conceded the first goal, it kind of seemed like game over for them, to be fair. Couldn't really create much chances at all, but yeah, Luca Digne, if you can get me a clean sheet, good. If by some miracle we can get some goal returns as well, then obviously that's fantastic. Luke Shaw next up against Fulham, which is very nice indeed. Fulham are kind of down and out, aren't they? They've struggled for goals all season, kind of like Sheffield United have as well. Kind of Sheffield United and Fulham just can't score goals at all, really, can they? Other than this new young lad, Jebison. The 17-year-old, maybe he scores a couple of goals for Sheffield United, but we're not worried about Sheffield United now. We're worried about Fulham and how Luke Shaw is going to get on. Luke Shaw is kind of the best left back in the league this season, you'd probably say, wouldn't you? He's having a fantastic one. He's creating so many chances. He's another one like Trent Alexander-Arnold, except with Shaw, there's a much higher chance of a clean sheet, and we could potentially get some crosses in the box and stuff like that. Maybe some set pieces as well. Shaw does like to take a corner as well, which is really nice. So definitely points on the cards there. So moving on into midfield, we've got Salah against Burnley. Burnley conceding a lot of goals at the moment. This is kind of, as soon as Burnley are safe, it happens every year. Burnley gets safe from relegation, and then it's not looking great defensively from their point of view after that. So even though Burnley are scoring a couple of goals, and they have been scoring a couple of goals, particularly through Chris Wood, now we've got Salah with so much to play for. Golden boot at stake, top 4 at stake. It's in Liverpool's hands. The last game against West Brom, the goal at the last minute from Alisson, it's going to give them so much confidence, so much momentum, and they will know we can do this. All we've got to do is win 2 games and we are in the Champions League. It's a game against Burnley with nothing to play for. Salah is going to be on absolute fire. It's an away game again. Salah, we know, has been performing actually a lot better away from home this season, where before we'd say Salah is a home game player, but now he's away. This is what he's doing. He's doing the business, and he still looks the most dangerous player in that Liverpool attack. at all times as well. Moving on to Mahrez, and I know a bit of a disaster last game week, but like I keep saying, there is no way that Mahrez doesn't play a game of football between now and the end of the season. He will play either this game or the next game against Everton. He has to play one of these games. If he doesn't, then by the time we get to the Champions League final, Mahrez would have not played competitive football in a month. Now that's just not sensible. You can't do that to a player. You can't take them out of all competitive football for a month and expect them to perform on the big stage in the Champions League final. Now Mahrez is arguably, with De Bruyne out, Mahrez is arguably their best attacking player. I think we would probably all agree with that. You know, Mahrez is on penalties, he's on set pieces, you have free kicks. He is, very, very dangerous on that right-hand side. He can create a goal out of nothing. He has that explosiveness, and he's capable of scoring these monster hauls, which we really look forward to. Brighton, although I've kind of said this before, they are missing Dunk. They're potentially missing Veltman. They are missing Morpay. The fact that a few players are missing, I don't think impacts them massively. I still do think they're going to be a relatively resilient side defensively. But a player like Mahrez has just got this magic, hasn't he? He's really got that magic. He really can do something in a game. So if he plays, and he has to play either this game or next game. He has to play one of them. If he plays this game, and I would expect this is probably the one he's more likely to play, having missed, sort of, like I said, it's going to be sort of over 10 games, over 10 days, like 11 days, almost 2 weeks since he last played a game of football. I think, in fact, it might even be literally 2 weeks by the time this Brighton fixture comes around. Surely he plays. Surely he plays in this game. And yeah, that's going to be very nice. And then moving on to Greenwood against Fulham again. Fulham down and out. I don't think Fulham are the defensive outfit that they were briefly after, I guess after Christmas. They had a couple of months where they were actually looking pretty good defensively, but they've just been on a very, very poor run of form. The fact that they're relegated as well, it's really not looking good for them. So a player like Greenwood, who I still believe to be Manchester United's best attacking asset when on the pitch, better than Bruno, better than Rashford, better than Cavani, whoever. Greenwood is kind of the guy, and I do think he is going to get game time. There's been a couple of rumours that maybe he might be rotated a little bit. I'm not really sure about that, to be honest. I do think if anyone stays in the starting lineup, it's going to be a player like Greenwood, because it's so important for his development that he keeps playing. So, guys, we're going to talk about Jota in a second, but if you don't have Greenwood and you're looking for a direct Jota replacement, Greenwood is a really obvious player to just switch to, because he's kind of the number one player, and they've got these really nice fixtures as well, Fulham and then Wolves. So very nice for Manchester United, very nice for Greenwood. And then we move on to the big worry of the game week. Obviously, this was a bit of a surprise injury. No one really saw this one coming in. We kind of got the news on the day Liverpool played that apparently Jota had actually been injured from the last game, which is like, oh no. So I ended up playing with 8 players last game week, despite playing a -12. To try and cover the fact that I'd have not enough players. It didn't work out. Okay, that's fine. But, Jota's injury, as long as we can find a replacement, and there's plenty of replacements available, it can be done. It really can be done. We've got this good fixture against Burnley, so Liverpool players are still the players we want to be targeting. But Jota is it's not going to happen, unfortunately, for him. So you've got to get him out. You really just have to get him out. Whether you go for Greenwood, you go for Lingard, whether you go for Mahrez, you go for Havertz, you go for, Rafinha could be a really nice shout as well. Plenty of options, guys. So we are going to transfer him out. I'll tell you that now. And we'll talk about a little bit about what we're going to do in a minute. Let's just finish off. Let's just complete the squad, and then we'll talk about that. So Lingard next against West Brom, which is a really nice fixture. The problem is that Lingard is just not playing the way we wanted him to play. It's not even a case of he's no longer in form. It's also a case that he's not shooting as much. He's not in the right positions as much, and he's kind of playing second fiddle. He's playing a lot deeper. He's not got as much license, I guess, to just be the main counter-attacking player. Perhaps he was overperforming. I mean, well, okay, he was overperforming, but we've kind of put that down to form and the continuation of his form. Now his form is gone. He has been blanking a little bit recently. He is he's not a player that we can say, okay, he's definitely getting goal returns, because I don't think he is that player who's definitely getting goal returns anymore. He's kind of gone off a lot, and when you watch him play, when you look at his underlying stats, it's just really not looking as positive. I probably would keep him, if unless you have some specific transfer plans, he's probably worth keeping for this game, but don't expect too much from him anymore, I guess. Because we did hype him up a lot. But it's time for the hype train to end, perhaps. So moving up front, we've got DCL against Wolves. Now, the reason I quite like this fixture, because I was thinking about, okay, maybe DCL and Everton, they've got 2 fixtures left. They've got Wolves at home, and then they've got Man City away next game week. So you would say that their fixtures are, well, the Wolves fixture is okay, but the Man City game, obviously that's bad. So maybe DCL is not top of the priority list right now. But on the other hand, Wolves do concede a lot of their chances through headers, through set pieces, through headers and stuff like that. So crosses into the box. Wolves have got a fairly short team, if that makes sense. So a lot of their players are quite short guys. If they continue to play 4 at the back, which they seem to be insistent that they want to become a 4 at the back team, which isn't really working too well for them, DCL, if he comes up against the right centre-back pairing, there is going to be some opportunities for Everton. There is going to be opportunities for DCL. And of course, Everton still do really want to get into the Europa League. And they have every chance of getting into the Europa League if they can win their last 2 games. And, we've got to start here because the Man City game is not going to go well. So they are going to really want to win this game. And we've got a great manager to do it as well. So not saying it's going to happen, but there's a good chance there, and I do rate DCL for this fixture against Wolves. I really do. I think we could get a goal. Well, back to goals, I guess. I know we expected it against Sheffield United. It wasn't to happen. Come on, let's get it in this Wolves game. And then we're going to finish you off with Chris Wood. Liverpool at home, you probably would say that this is a difficult fixture. I don't think it is particularly. Liverpool are continuing to concede goals, to leak chances. I think maybe a lot to do with that is Liverpool are kind of all-out attack at the moment, aren't they? So there is going to be opportunities for Burnley to score goals, and although Burnley have pretty much given up defensively, Chris Wood is still a player who wants to score goals, who wants to get on it, who wants to be, I don't know what he wants. He wants goals, doesn't he? He's on penalties as well. Liverpool can give away the odd penalty. We've kind of seen that recently as well. So yeah, although it's on paper a difficult fixture, I would not bet against Wood to score in this game. I really wouldn't. I think there is every possibility. If someone is scoring in that Burnley team, why not? Why not Chris Wood? He's kind of the guy, and he's scored so many goals recently. He's taken so many shots recently. He can do it, and he's against sort of these attacking fullbacks and these two kind of. They've done really well, the Liverpool centre backs, but they are inexperienced. And then they're possibly going to be a little bit fatigued because the Liverpool games are coming thick and fast at the moment. So there is going to be opportunities for Wood and your Burnley attackers. But Chris Wood is basically the only Burnley attacker we care about. So yeah, let's go on to the bench. We've got Forster, who we know is not going to play this game week, but he will play next game week because that's kind of the rotation that Southampton do. 2 games, 1 keeper, 2 games for the next keeper. So it's still Forster's turn to stay on the bench. It's McCarthy's turn to go in goal. So not even a consideration. We've got Dallas, which is a really nice backup. If something terrible happens this game week, I have got Dallas against Southampton as a nice backup player. We've got Vidra against Liverpool. Yeah, nice 2-pointer maybe. And Cedric, sort of the ever-present and never getting on the pitch player. The biggest mistake, well, not the biggest mistake, but one of my mistakes on my wild card was bringing in Cedric. Thought he would play. Obviously, Xhaka's been the left back. Saka's been the left back. Anyone but Cedric. And of course, Tierney's back now, so it's just not going to happen. Maybe he gets a little bit of game time just for no reason, but I'm not counting on it by any stretch of the imagination. So he'll stay firmly last on my bench for now, I think. So we've got 1 free transfer, guys. We've got 4.8 million in the bank. I'll tell you exactly what I would do if I could, and then tell you that I can't, and tell you what I am going to do. So the player that I really, really want this game week to replace Jota, and I really am feeling very strongly about this one, is to go for Mane. I really want Mane in my team. We've got these 2 fixtures that are super crucial for Liverpool. We've got Mane. I know people have been slating Mane a lot, saying he's had a bad season. He's had a bad season. In terms of his output recently, the shots he's taking, the positions he's being in, the chances to score goals, his creativity, it really has not been nearly as bad as people are making it out to be. I think he's not quite on par with Salah, but he's not too far off. So what I really want to do is, by having Salah, Mane and Trent Alexander-Arnold, I want all 3 players, and I want to have all Liverpool goals covered, because I think there's going to be goals for Liverpool between now and the end of the season. I think they've got so much to play for. They've got Burnley, then Crystal Palace. I want Mane in my team, and I think Mane will score goals and he will get points over these next 2 game weeks. I really do feel strongly about that. Now, another benefit of Mane is because Jota's out, Mane is just guaranteed to play 90 minutes for both games. He's playing. He's going to play. He's not going to get dropped. He's not going to get rotated. He's back in the squad and he's here to stay because there's not really much competition for his place. So that's a good thing with Jota being injured, I guess. You kind of got to take positives in these ways. But the problem is, I would do direct Jota to Mane, but my selling price for Jota is 0.1 million short. So I'd be tragically 0.1 million short of making the direct transfer. So if I really want to do this, and I really think I do, I need to make 2 transfers. So I need to get rid of Jota, bring in Mane, and then someone else is going to have to be downgraded in my team. Now, if I'm taking a -4, and I feel really strongly about this, some of you guys will say, okay, well, you can downgrade Cedric, you're not going to use him anyway. You can downgrade Vidra, you're not going to use him anyway. Kind of stuff like that. But what I want to make sure I'm doing is if I'm going to take a -4, and I am by the way, I want to make sure 100% that I am improving my team with both transfers. Both of my 2 transfers have to be players that improve my starting 11, improve players that I will be playing in this game week and next game week. So, for example, one of the options I thought about was doing DCL to Antonio. Do I think Antonio will outscore DCL over 2 game weeks? Yeah, probably. So in that case, the upgrade from DCL to Antonio is, well, even though it's a downgrade financially, it's an upgrade potentially in terms of the total amount of points. That way, I'll get to upgrade Jota to Mane, points gained, and go DCL to Antonio, points gained. Now, this fixture against Wolves kind of makes me think, I kind of do want DCL against Wolves. I kind of really do want that. So I've got to look elsewhere. I think. Other options was to take out Edison and replace him with another goalkeeper. But I know Edison now is going to play both these last games, so I don't need to worry about that. So is there a better goalkeeper I can get? I mean, possibly, but at the same time, it's a really good goalkeeper to have, isn't it? So where do I downgrade? And my eyes were kind of ended up being drawn to Lingard. Kind of not been the same player, not been performing in the way that I want him to, and there's a player that I can switch him out to who I really do want, and he's a bit of an FPL Mate channel legend. You might already know who I'm going to say. He's a bit of a legend of the channel. I really do rate this player. I think he is just absolutely fantastic, and literally, I genuinely think he's one of the best players in the league. If it wasn't for the team he was playing for. So let me tell you what I'm going to do, guys. Let me throw it up on the screen for you. So we're going to do Jota to Mane and Lingard to Rafinha. That's where it's at. Rafinha, obviously, a lot cheaper than Lingard, so I can save that money, get that money back, and reinvest it in the Mane upgrade. And we've got Rafinha, who's got 2 fantastic fixtures. We've got Southampton this game week. I can't remember who he's got in the last game. Is it West Brom? I probably should have double checked before making this video, but alas, I haven't. But I know it's a good fixture. I'm pretty sure it's against West Brom, but so it's good. It's very nice indeed. I do think Rafinha is going to outscore Lingard over the 2 game weeks. I really do strongly feel that. So in that sense, this is 2 transfers to both improve my team, which is the only way I would take a -4 if I can make 2 transfers to improve my team. Fair enough, Lingard's against West Brom. You could say it's an easy fixture, but you can have as easy fixtures as you like. But if you're not going at that good fixture with a player who is shooting a lot, making a lot of chances, then it's not really as beneficial as it sounds. You can't just play the fixture, you also got to play the form of the player, particularly with attacking players where form is so crucial, and how they're playing, their role in the team is really, really important in terms of getting goal returns. And Rafinha, although people might say, oh well, Harrison scored more points recently, maybe Rafinha has been a bit of a points dodger for a while, but he is so creative, he is such a good player, he's on pretty much all set pieces other than penalties. Rafinha is just, he's just a man, and I rate him so highly, and I do think he has every chance of getting some points over these last 2 game weeks. I really do. So that's definitely a player I want. And then Mane, like I said, I really think he's going to be one of the highest scoring players over the next 2 game weeks. In terms of the teams, the quality of the player, the amount that the player has to play for, it goes Salah, and then who after that? Who has loads to play for and has a load of quality as well, and who's also nailed on and guaranteed to play both games? Well, it's Mane. Mane is the guy, as far as I'm concerned. It's why I put him in my buy, sell, keep, avoid video yesterday. I really just think this is the right move. And also, at the same time, guys, and I reiterate the same thing I keep saying, I can make boring transfers. I could just do a straight swap, Jota to Rafinha. I could do, I could bring in Son, or I could bring in someone like that. I could bring in Bamford. I could try and bring in Kane with a -4 as well. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to get and actually do a magical rank boost, you have to put yourself out there a little bit. You have to stick your neck out on the line. If you're happy with your rank, play the safe transfers, play the sensible ones. But if you really want to, make a last minute boost, I mean, if I had a choice between being guaranteed in the top 100k or a chance of getting maybe 60k or something like that, but there's also a chance I get 150k. I'd rather take the risk at this point, because I don't gain anything from sitting, second, third in my mini leagues. I don't gain anything from having a you know, wow, my final season rank is like, I don't know, around 100k. Why would I just settle for that when I could try and do a bit more? It's not going to, this is not a season where I'm going to be happy with my rank no matter what. At least I may as well at least try and get something I'm relatively happy with, and go again next season and start again and go back to being a little bit more sensible. But right now, guys, why not? Mahrez is differential, man. Rafinha is still a little bit differential. We got Mahrez, who's differential. Edison is differential, man. It's like, it's actually pretty nice to have all these, you know, because so much this season we've been kind of, you might have Kane or you might have Bruno Fernandes, and it's kind of like, if they score, it's like, okay, whatever. Everyone else has this player anyway, so who kind of cares? Even if they're your captain at certain points, you know, you don't gain anything. So it's making FPL interesting for me. It's giving me a chance of doing something magical, doing something special. Fair enough, it might not happen. Maybe you might say the chances of it happening are slim. Guys, if you don't want to follow my transfers, then absolutely don't. I'm not trying to recommend these transfers to you. I'm just saying how I'm playing the game personally. I'm going to go out and try and enjoy the rest of the season, try and play positive for the rest of the season, and try and create some magic, because fortune does favour the bold, and if you're not in it, you can't win it. So there we go, guys. That is my team. Very quickly on captains, because I don't think we need to talk about this too much. Captaincy straight on Salah. Very, very easy decision. Like I keep saying, Liverpool so much to play for. Burnley leaking goals at the moment. We can stick the vice captain on Mane as well. Why the devil not? And there we go. That's the team completed. And I think, honestly, in terms of for the remainder of the season, this squad is class. It really is class. It really is very nice. So I'm fairly confident I can get back into the top 100k and not have to worry about having to wear a Spurs shirt as a forfeit if I do finish outside the top 100k. But we'll see how we go. Wish me luck, guys. So that is the end of the video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like. I'd really, really appreciate that. Really helps out the channel. And of course, subscribe if you're new around here. Check out OneFootball. Follow me on Twitter, whatever. All the links and stuff are in the descriptions. Go check it out. And aside from that, guys, I will see you tomorrow for a deadline stream. The second to last deadline stream of the season. Wow, I can't believe we're nearly done. I can't believe it. Oh, it's sad but exciting at the same time. So, guys, thanks once again for watching, and I'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye.